Anastasia. I am 21 and today today is day 5 of my 31 days of Halloween, and today we are going to be doing any Disney or non-Disney princess makeup. Literally the makeup I'm going to be doing you can apply to any princess whatsoever. So first I'm going to prime my face with the Catrice first with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and I finally got the big one. And then I'm going to be using the Catrice Prime and Fine Primer on top. This is so everything grips to our face and stays on all night, even though because of COVID, nobody's going to go to Halloween parties. And then the Catrice Prime and Fine to fill in pores, because obviously Disney princesses, they have perfect skin. And also with this makeup, this is also just like a natural makeup tutorial. So also think of this as just like an everyday makeup tutorial. So now as foundation, to get that perfect base, I'm going to be using the Maybelline 24-Hour Superstay Full Coverage. You can use really any foundation you want. This just gives me the best blank canvas. And then as a highlighting concealer, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This is in Light Peach. This foundation is in 110, and if I don't mention any products or shade names, they are always in the comments down below. And as always, I'm going to get a foundation brush. I'm going to be grabbing my setting spray and giving it just a little spritz to get it nice and wet. And if you're afraid of this foundation because it's full coverage and it's matte, because you think it's gonna look cakey, we are gonna go over our whole face with highlighter later, so do not fret. Then I'm just going to go over the foundation with a sponge just to make sure all the streaks are out. And then with our highlighting concealer, we're just going to go under our eyes, normal highlight areas of the face. We're just going to buff that out. Also, you don't have to do the concealer bit. The foundation's full coverage enough that it will cover your under eye bags, but I just like to do this. And now that I like how that looks, I'm going to take my Coty Airspun powder and just go over everything lightly with powder. So now I'm just going to very simply fill in my brows. I'm just going to do a natural brow. I am going to keep my notch there because that's just my thing. So very natural brows are actually very simple. There are probably a million tutorials on YouTube for how to do it, but I'm just going to give you my quick tutorial. Literally just take your eyebrow pencil. This is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. This is in dark brunette because it matches my brow hair. And just gently flicking the product through my brow. And just little dots. If you made a straight line, then you'd be able to see that. You just want to flick it through the brow. Now obviously if you have thicker brows, you may not need to do this. And if you have thinner brows, you may need to use more. You may even need to use a pomade. But for me, that's how I get my quote-unquote natural brow. And then the problem with the notch is that you gotta draw in. So just flicking, I'm going to draw my line where I want the notch to be, and then just, the brow hair in my notch is a lot thinner than in my actual brow, so I do need to go a little heavier. But then with the brow itself, just flicking, going through the brow. Ew, I messed up. That's okay if you mess up like I did. Just brush through with the spoolie. And there you go. Easy peasy brow. So now we're going to brush off the excess powder off our face. Just to bring everything down to neutral in terms of like how matte and how dry my face feels. I'm just going to go over with a little bit of spray. Fan it down a little bit. And then as that's really drying into my face, I'm going to use brow gel. And the brow gel I use is the Essence Lash and Brow Gel Mascara. This is the clear one. And literally with brow gel, you just gently run it through your brow. That's literally it. Just take brow gel, kind of wipe off the excess off the component and then just gently brush through your brow. Give it one final look, and there you go. So now that my face is pretty dry from the spray, I'm going to take my eyeshadow base. Now, if you don't want to use eyeshadow base like I do, I use the P. Louise base in the shade Rumour 01. You can just put concealer on your eyes as you're doing your base. If you don't like eyeshadow base, I happen to love eyeshadow base, so I'm gonna put it on now. And with eyeshadow base, you don't need a lot. Like, this is like half of a pea size. You literally do not need a lot. And this is enough for 2 eyes. And first, I just spread it around with my finger, and then I'll go over it with my sponge. Now, I am going to set this with our Coty Airspun powder, because we're not doing any crazy colors or looks today, so we can set it with powder and leave that there. And then I am gonna bake my under eyes and my nose, and that's leaving a little excess powder to get absorbed by the skin as it wants to. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to be taking the Carli Bybel palette. Obviously, you do not need to use this palette. You can use any palette because we are just going to be using maybe like 2 neutrals. So first, I'm going to wipe off the excess powder off of my eyelids because that isn't needed. Then with like a really big fluffy brush, I'm going to take this shade Shy, which is this really light, warm, toasted brown. And we're just doing a neutral eye. So I'm gonna run that into my crease just to create that nice toastiness and that little bit of like depth to the eye that we need. And obviously, if you have, I'm just doing princesses overall. If you have a princess of choice, you can obviously add like her accent color, like as a shimmer on the lid, or you can add it to the eye color. I'm just doing like princesses overall, and then we're gonna do that to the other eye. And what I'm doing is I'm doing windshield wiper motion to get that pigment into the eye. But then with like just light pressure, just the tips of the brush, I'm moving the pigment up and out. And then I'm going to put Shy all over the lower lash line, just again to add that depth to the eye. And there we go, that's it. Obviously you can keep adding more on the eyeshadow if you want. I'm just doing like a really, really simple tutorial. And then with a black felt tip liner, obviously you can use any eyeliner you want. And then with like a black liner, I'm going to do a little baby wing. Nothing, wow. I mean, for some people that is a little bit dramatic, I would say. Wow, that's like more of a liner than I had originally wanted, but we're just gonna go with it. And now with mascara, I'm going to apply a lot of coats of mascara. We are going to put on baby lashes, so that's what I'm preparing for, but you obviously don't have to use lashes if you don't want to. And for the little baby lashes I'm going to be using the Ardelle Demi-Wispies. And I'm very camera shy when it comes to putting on lashes, so be back in a sec. Now I definitely feel more like a princess with the princessy lashes on. Alright, we are continuing on. So again, since we baked, we gotta wipe off the excess, bake. And then I'm just gonna do one more spray of the Pixi Hydrating Milky Mist, just to, ew, oh, it's the wrong way. So now I'm gonna go in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the shade Deep Bronzer. And I'm going to lightly fluff this on a brush. And I don't want like to be too bronze. I just want to contour just a little bit. So I'm going to concentrate the color on the outside and then start to buff it around my cheek. Wow, that actually looks pretty good. Wow. A lot of excess, take it off. First concentrate the color up here and then start swirling and buffing the color around. And then I'm gonna go just gently over my forehead. We're not going crazy with the color. I'm actually gonna like contour my temple a little bit just to have that face structure. But then after that, I'm just gonna buff everything around. No harsh lines, no harsh colors, no harsh. Actually, I'm gonna go with a powder brush and just go over the cheeks a little bit because I feel a little uncomfortable with that. And now I'm going to take the ColourPop Pressed Pan Blush in Why Hello. It's like a really nice pinky blush. And I'm gonna load this up on a brush, and you wanna put on a lot of blush. Just because like when I think Disney princess, that's what my mind thinks to first, just like really glowy, blushy skin. It's not showing up on camera, but I am really blushy in person. The moment we've all been waiting for, highlighter. So I do use the highlighter trick with, I mainly do it with the Jaclyn Hill Mood Light powder, but I know that not a lot of people have availability to that kind of powder. So first I'm going to be using the Ofra and Nikkitutorials Collab highlighter in Glazed Donut. This is the brightest highlight I think I've ever experienced. And first, we're going to take a very extremely fluffy brush. We're going to knock off as much excess as possible and gently go over the forehead first. And that adds just a little bit of life back, a little bit. And then we're gonna go do the same thing, knock off as much excess as possible, and go over all of the cheeks, the whole thing. So again, that adds that little bit of life back to the face. Same thing over here, and if you add too much, just go over it with the brush you use for powder. You see, now we're getting all of that life back. And then same thing down the nose, the cupid's bow, and the chin. Now if you have very oily skin, you don't have to do this because your natural oils in your face are gonna come out to do this for you, but if you have normal to dry skin, I would recommend doing this. So now that we have our glow on, I am going to put on actually like a little more highlight on the brush and put on like highlight, like on the cheek. And down the nose, the cupid's bow. And then these next couple steps are gonna take your makeup look from like here to like boom, there. So first secret is I'm going to take another highlighter. This is the Wet n Wild MegaGlo highlighter in Crystal High. And you actually can use the Ofra and Nikkitutorials one. I just prefer this one. And we're gonna do inner corner highlight. If you have not done inner corner highlight, do inner corner highlight. Like look, it's gonna transform the look. See, it brings that like magical brightness to the eye that you did not have before, and it just like lights up your whole look. So again, the other eye, and then I'm going to do my brow bone, and I do this actually with my normal makeup. Now obviously if any of this is too harsh for you, then take it off or change it. This is just how I like to do my makeup. And then this next step will change your whole makeup game forever and ever and ever. You are going to take a white gel liner and you are going to put it in your waterline. And let me show you the difference. So I'm putting this in your left eye. Look at the difference in those two eyes. Like it just makes your eyes pop. And it gives you that princess doll-like look. And now I'm just gonna do a little bit of setting spray. So now we're gonna talk about lips. Now lips literally can change, lips and hair can change literally whatever look you're doing. So let's take like a pinky lipstick, hair in a bun, some black ribbon, and if you add a little cute blue dress to it, you have Cinderella. Or if you put on a darker, more cranberry nude, put your hair in a half up situation, and you put on something gold, then you have Belle. Or if you put on a red lipstick, give yourself a really pronounced side part and put on something that's pink or blue. You have Aurora. Or this exact same lip will go for Snow White. And obviously this look is the same if you do Tiana or you do Mulan or you do Moana. And I am going to be doing a video for Elsa and I am going to be doing a video for Anna in the upcoming weeks. So pay attention for that, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys like me, please subscribe to the channel. And also, like, turn on the notification bell. We got 31 days of Halloween and today's only day 5. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Goodbye!